18 years old. Joseph Saley is obviously skilled at Tetris, but what is more remarkable is how much better he is than the first generation of players who were obsessed with the game. Playing on level 29 was long thought impossible. Bricks dropped so fast that simply holding left or right, a player couldn't move them all the way to the edge of the screen before they became locked in place at the bottom. Since a complete horizontal row of blocks is needed for them to disappear in this satisfying Tetris click, fans regarded the level unplayable, nicknaming it the kill screen. Another feat, achieving a maximum score of 999,999 points in a single session, was long sought by early players. But the first documented max out didn't occur until 2 decades after the game's release, when Harry Hong reached the top score. In contrast, over the span of a single tournament in 2020, Saley maxed out 12 separate times. Nor is Saley unique in his Tetris proficiency. During the same tournament, 40 different players reached the maximum possible score. How does a game, long past its prime, produce much better players? Tetris, then and now. Tetris feels dated today, so it's easy to forget the sensation it caused when it debuted. Invented by Russian computer scientist Alexei Pajitnov in 1984, the game spread via floppy disk through the twilight years of the Soviet Union. Pajitnov, like many an office employee after him, was hooked by his own creation, playing Tetris instead of working. Vladimir Pokilko, a psychologist and friend of Pajitnov, thought the game was so enticing it could be used to study addiction. Eventually, he had to destroy all his copies when it became clear that his research staff weren't getting any work done. After it was stumbled upon by software broker Robert Stein during a trip to Hungary, the game set off a ferocious battle for distribution rights in the West. Eventually, Nintendo emerged victorious, creating the definitive edition for its Nintendo Entertainment System, NES, selling millions of copies and creating a generation of devoted fans. While for most players, Tetris was just an amusing pastime, others became obsessed. Ben Mullen, an early record holder, kept detailed statistics on his play to try to find hidden patterns to optimize his performance. I found out that actually, exactly 1/2 hour after you have some coffee, you play the best Tetris, he reports. Harry Hong played so much he had to place a shirt between his thumb and the controller to keep from getting blisters. Others played until they began to hallucinate falling blocks in what would later be called the Tetris effect. But devoted as they were, none came close to the performance effortlessly displayed by modern players like Saley. Resolving the enigma. A clue to understanding the stark change in proficiency comes from observing how players made their achievements known. In the earliest days, official records were managed by Twin Galaxies, a video game record database. Players submitted their high scores, along with some form of verification. If deemed legitimate, referees would post the scores to a central leaderboard on their website. But the process was cumbersome. Players might fail to sufficiently document an attempt, resulting in a record that was ultimately unsubmittable. This was the fate of Jonas Neubauer and Thor Ackerlund, who had claimed to have reached a max out before Harry Hong, but couldn't prove it. But for years, there was no other option. If you wanted to be seen as the best, you had to go through Twin Galaxies. This started to change after YouTube. Freely uploading videos, players could share their world records directly rather than going through an intermediary. While this made it easier to submit a new top score, it had an important side effect. If you posted a video of a world record performance, everyone could see how you did it. Before that, Twin Galaxies had only posted the top score, not the evidence itself used to verify it. Players can now not only marvel at the skill of elite Tetris players, but see how they did it. While early YouTube provided greater transparency, the informal nature of the records also created temptations to cheat. Older games, like Tetris, could be run on an emulator, a piece of software that allows you to play console games on a personal computer. This specialized software lets players slow down the gameplay or rewind to undo mistakes. While careful sleuthing can often spot telltale signs of a fraudulent record, genuine players started investing in ways to authenticate their performance. Recording not just the screen, but also video of players' hands became common. Live streaming further increased authenticity, as the best players could be watched playing the game in real time, making cheating nearly impossible. Observing hand movements, innovations in button pressing could be